Hey there, I'm Zack Attack. At some point in your life, you've probably found yourself staring at pictures of whales or dolphins. They are among the most fascinating and inspiring animals out there. Whales, which are scientifically called cetaceans, have been a source for many things for humans, from food, entertainment, and bridging a personal connection to the ocean. Cetaceans are the largest animals by individual size out there, even dwarfing some of the dinosaurs. But how did this amazing creature come to get so big and to rule the sea? Well, it's currently believed that the ancestors of cetaceans lived on land. They were wolf-like in appearance and lived around what is now Pakistan. This was around 50 million years ago. These creatures were called Pakicetus, and they likely lived near bodies of water that they dove or hunted in, like lakes or rivers. However, they still lived on land. In this sense, I kind of imagine them like otters, living close to the water and swimming out to catch their food. Unlike their cousins, the hippopotamus, who would remain in fresh water, Pakicetus eventually made its way to the bays and estuaries of the Tethys Sea about 49 million years ago. At this point, they had evolved into a new creature called Ambulocetus, which resembles a weird mammalian crocodile. At 48 million years ago arrived Remingtonocetus. These became more prevalent along the coastline of the ancient Tethys. Using stable oxygen isotope analysis, scientists have found evidence that Remingtonocetus may have stopped drinking fresh water directly like modern marine mammals. This indicates a marine diet. Eventually, at the 45 million year ago mark, we reached Protocetidae. This was a family that, while it was still amphibious, possessed reduced limbs for walking, and they were better for swimming. Additionally, the nasal cavities had begun migrating up the creature's snout. This migration would have led to the blowhole in modern whales. This also made them more equipped for the open ocean, with some of the protocetids likely even having tail flukes like modern cetaceans. Now, protocetids were very widespread along ancient coastlines, especially those of Asia, Africa, Europe, and North America. Somewhere between 41 to 35 million years ago came the Basilosaurus and Durodontines. These whales were completely marine. The Basilosaurs were big, with some specimens reaching 60 feet in length, as opposed to the Durodontines, which only stayed around 15 feet. Now, at this point, the front legs of both species had completely changed into flippers. Their hind legs had turned into two short, stumpy appendages that may have functioned as claspers for mating. But the nasal passage had already migrated almost to the position of modern whales. However, unlike their modern relatives, these whales had not yet evolved melons. That's the organ that modern toothed whales, called odontocetes, use to hear through echolocation. From here on out, things only become more and more familiar. The cetaceans split into two main groups: the mysticetes, the baleen whales, and the odontocetes, the toothed whales. The melon organ develops to assist odontocetes in becoming the top oceanic predator after the extinction of megalodon sharks. The mysticetes eventually develop their keratin tooth plates for filter feeding, which allows them to get even larger than their basilosaur ancestors. Cetaceans go on to become the largest and most successful marine mammal of history until a group of primates come along. You already know this part of the story, and it isn't fun to discuss. It's a shameful truth about humankind, how we've killed literally hundreds of thousands of whales since we realized we could. It's even more shameful to know that some of these populations may never recover their genetic diversity, or that some will probably go extinct this century. The purpose of this video isn't to shame humankind for previous generations' mistakes, but to preserve things for generations to come. Seeing how far cetaceans have come, and now seeing where they might end, is both disturbing and saddening. My channel's purpose, all of Barefoot's purpose, is to educate and encourage your own curiosity. Foster your desire to learn by checking out local aquariums to see if they have any dolphins that you can get up close to. Look up sources of information on whales. If you live on or near the coastline, you can volunteer with various groups that help the ocean, like picking up garbage or even working within the various marine mammal stranding networks. To quote Sabina Noor, "Be curious, because curiosity leads to knowledge. And with all this knowledge, you must be a Know Atoll."